Morning, peeps. Good morning, everyone. I don't have anything specific to talk about today, so we're just going to rattle through some stories before I head off to work. You know what I was thinking, though? I was thinking, obviously, we're coming to the end of the year, and I was thinking, who is the fighter of the year? It's a good question, right? Who is the fighter of the year? Because normally, it would automatically go to someone that's probably, I don't know, put in 2 good performances in the last 12 months. But most fighters have only fought once. Who's fought twice? Can't think of any top fighters that have fought twice and have got 2 good performances. Can't think of one. Who has fought twice this year? Can't think of any. I'm sure someone has. So I guess what you're thinking about when you're thinking of your fighter of the year, who's had that best single performance, like that really good performance. I think a lot of people will think about Tio. I think Teofimo, obviously, because he's fighting against a fellow pound for pounder. He has to be right up there. I thought Charlo's performance against Rosario was very good, especially when you consider it was 2 guys with titles. If you go way back, right, to February, Tyson Fury's performance against Deontay Wilder, no one expected that. Let's not forget that, because I do think we have that memory as we only think about what happened in the last 4 months. Let's go way back. Tyson Fury's performance against Deontay Wilder was just from no one expected it. That was actually a better performance and a result because he got the stoppage than Tio's against Loma. Then again, Loma was very, very up here, and so it was somewhat of an upset. But so was, I think, Fury versus Wilder. So, don't know, it'd be good to have a discussion on that. Not by myself. I think I might have to do an Addy and Friends and just invite a few of you in just to have a discussion, because I can't think. Someone must have fought twice this year. Like someone, a top fighter, must have fought January, February, which aren't really boxing months, and then have had a fight November or something planned in December. But honestly, at the top of my head, I can't think. And let's not forget, we have got Errol Spence versus Danny Garcia coming up. I mean, if Danny pulls off the upset, then, I guess he jumps to fight of the year immediately. All right, let's just rattle through some stories, people. Don't forget, if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button and please like and share the videos. All right, so what we got today? Daniel Dubois' promoter has no issue doing Usyk fight next. Can't see that fight happening, if I'm honest with you. But, and this is where the but comes in, that could potentially be for a world title. Dubois is very high up on the WBO, very high up. I think he's like number 2 or 3, something ridiculous like that. Obviously, Usyk is number 1. There is a chance that Joshua could vacate. Joshua has always spoken about not wanting to vacate because he's worked so hard to get his belts. But there could be a situation where the WBO force Usyk on him. Obviously, Usyk's is mandatory. But then there's the Fury versus Joshua option. And he just goes straight to Fury rather than fight Usyk. So, I mean, we're talking about Dubois potentially. Look, this is so far in the future because Dubois got to get past Joyce. But we're talking about Dubois potentially fighting Usyk for a world title. Would he fight Usyk if there wasn't a belt on the line? I don't think he would. If there's a belt on the line, I don't know. If I'm Frank Warren and I'm Dubois and I'm watching Usyk's performance against Derek Chisora, nothing should scare you. I mean, you're not going to have sleepless nights about that performance. Usyk beats Dubois for me. He's just far too skillful. Dubois' feet are too slow. But, I mean, you're not going to be scared. And I still don't know if Usyk can take a crack, right? I mean, Chisora landed a couple, but nothing clean. I mean, we know Dubois do we know Dubois can crack? We know Dubois can crack at the lower level. We don't know if Dubois can crack at the higher level yet. But Dubois clearly carries some power. So I don't know. I can understand why Frank Warren wouldn't be scared, but I think there's got to be a world title on the line in order for him to do it. Very similar to what he did with Kovalev and Yard. Yard isn't going to go to Russia to fight Kovalev for no reason. He went there because of a title and good money. And that's what this sport's about. All right, Oscar De La Hoya backs Mike Tyson to defeat Roy Jones Jr. I feel like, see, this is where I say you've got to strike while the iron is hot in boxing. And look, obviously this isn't a fight for this generation, but there was a time, August, September, it was hot for Mike Tyson versus Roy Jones, to the point where I was saying it will do 1 million pay-per-view buys. I was saying that, and I think people were agreeing. Now, don't know, I feel like it's all calmed down. Now we're not as excited when we see the Mike Tyson clips. I mean, we all made videos of those Mike Tyson clips because it was exciting. Now it's like, strike while the iron is hot. They were waiting, I don't know what for, and I feel like it's just lost a bit of luster. I even saw Roy Jones Jr., he was speaking on the Joe Rogan podcast, and he was like, he was ready to go September, October. He was ready to go, and like, he doesn't understand why they postponed it really either. And I feel like it's lost a bit. Remember, the fight happens in a couple of weeks. I don't think there's the hype for it that there was in August, September when we saw those clips emerge of Mike Tyson. I mean, there was super hype. I don't think there's the same. It might build as we get closer to the fight, but I feel like it's lost it a bit. Who will Gervonta Davis fight next? Assessing his options at 130 and 135. The best thing for Gervonta Davis is that he has options. Right, a lot of boxers out there, I mean, you can be as good as you want. If you don't have options, then you're not making money and no one's interested in seeing you fight. Gervonta Davis has options in 2 weight classes. I mean, there's not many people that can say that. Right, Canelo can say it. Canelo's got options in 3 weight classes, but not many people can say they've got options to the point where we want to see those fights. Like, you think about the options at 130. Shakur Stevenson, let's not forget, he's at 130. Miguel Bichelt's at 130. Gary Russell Jr. said he's going to step up to 130. Oscar Valdez is at 130. That's 4 already. And we could find more, but that's 4 already that are good fights that people will be interested in seeing. Then obviously at 135, you guys, you know the rest. At 135, Tio's there. Devin Haney's there. Luke Campbell, let's not sleep on Luke Campbell, right? Luke Campbell's there. Ryan Garcia's there. Loma's still there, right? I mean, there's options. That's like, what, 9, 10 options I just reeled off? All big fights. So Gervonta's got options. But I guess the first thing Gervonta needs to do is sort his shit out, because I'm sure that all of you guys read about the fact that allegedly, and I have to say allegedly because I'm not 100% sure it has been confirmed, but outlets are reporting that he was involved in a hit and run. I mean, when was his fight against Leo Santa Cruz? 4 or 5 days ago? Career best win, and 3 days later, you're involved in a hit and run, allegedly. Not good, is it, man? It's like 1 step forward, 2 steps back. Let's just hope that everyone's okay, first and foremost. But it's just, I don't know. I don't know how you keep someone like Gervonta Davis on the straight and narrow. I mean, he just seems like a wild child. Obviously, we understand where he's come from and how he grew up, but you're making your life better now. Like, just stop. I mean, we saw Adrian Broner, again, another wild child, being arrested on the weekend. I don't know what for, actually, but then, I don't know, saying that he's running out of money. I don't believe that for a second. I mean, I know he spends a lot of money, but surely he can't be broke. But if he is, then it's a lesson for everyone. If Broner can be broke, Broner must have made, career-wise, just career earnings, Broner must be touching 80, 90, 100 million in career earnings. Maybe not that. Trying to think of his fights. Yeah, Pac-Man, he might have got big money. Garcia, big money. Porter, big money. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to say around 80 to 100 million. If that guy's broke, then I don't know. The only blessing that he's got is that he's still young-ish and still somewhat of a name. People still want to fight him. Prograis, who won on the weekend, wants to fight him. There's other guys that want to fight him at 140 just because he's not even at 140, but he's the biggest name at 140. He's a bigger name than Ramirez. He's a bigger name than Josh Taylor. He's a bigger name than anyone at 140. So he's still got that. He's lucky, very lucky. Brook on Crawford. I'm going to be focused to produce the win of my life. Don't sleep on Brook. Don't sleep on Brook, people. Again, I think Crawford's going to win, but don't sleep on Kell Brook. Kell Brook, is a good boxer. He looks really fired up. He's made the, well, we say he's made the weight. He's not made the weight yet, but fingers crossed he's making the weight properly and healthily, and he's going to be the best Kell Brook we've seen in a few years. It's not going to be Kell Brook Porter because age catches up to anyone, but I think it's going to be better than what we've been seeing. Well, we've only seen a couple of fights, to be fair, since then, but it's going to be better than what we've been seeing him at these 154 weight classes. He's going to be better than that, I think. Let's see. Bob Arum backs Fury to take Joshua out in 2 or 3 rounds. That's not happening. It's not happening. No. Look, you know I'm a Joshua fan, but I respect Fury highly. Fury ain't taking AJ out in 2 or 3 rounds. Stop it. I know people are going to say, oh, but Ruiz put him down. I don't care. And no, Fury's not taking him out in 2 or 3. I think Fury will beat AJ. I really do, by the way. I mean, I hope AJ wins with all my heart. I think Fury will win, though, but I don't think he's taking him out in 2 or 3 rounds. If anyone takes out anyone in 2 or 3 rounds, it's the opposite way around, but that ain't happening. Teofimo Lopez on Wilder's Fury claims, you're a grown-ass man. Stop being a bitch. That's perfect. Look, I'll leave it as that. I don't think I can add any more to that. That's a perfect statement by Teofimo Lopez. Stop being a bitch. Like, stop moaning about everything. You know, like, remember that scene? Is it in, I don't know what Rocky it is. Is it Rocky Balboa? Where Rocky's son is moaning. They're on the street corner. It's a fantastic speech. And then Rocky starts to go into that speech, which everyone's used. It's like that. It's almost like that speech needs to be just told to Deontay Wilder. Like, stop, man. Oh, God. Devin Haney, all eyes are on me. It's my time to show up and show out. I don't know if all eyes are on you. I feel like this fight's almost going under the radar. I feel like no one's speaking about it. There is no hype around it. Nothing. Honestly, nothing. No one's talking about Devin Haney Gamboa. No one. Like, it's not his fault. Oh, well, is it his fault? He is the WBC lightweight champion after all. But there's just no excitement around it. I think it might be a good scrap for a few rounds because Gamboa is still quite explosive. I think we saw that against Gervonta Davis. Can take a clip. He can. I mean, you'll put him down, but he won't stay down. He'll get up. And I guess this is, I dare say, Devin Haney's biggest fight ever in terms of name, in terms of opponent, in terms of fighting someone with a resume. So, don't know. It's a big fight for him, right? He needs to perform. He needs to look good. Ideally, he beats Gamboa better than Gervonta Davis did. He needs to make a statement. But yeah, there is very, very little hype around this fight. Very. Which is unfortunate because could be a good scrap for a few rounds. What else we got? Arum explains why he's confident Pulev will beat Joshua. He's just like promoting all these fighters, isn't it, to be fair? I don't blame him. This is an interesting fight, though. I can't lie to you. There is part of me that is a bit scared still for AJ. There is. I mean, Pulev, big boy, good jab. In fact, great jab. Hasn't been as active, obviously, as he would have liked to have been. Only beaten once, and that was by Klitschko. A very, very good Klitschko as well. He got clipped coming in with a hook. I don't know if you guys remember it. Beautiful shot by Klitschko. Put his ass down. Let's see, man. Let's see what happens. But yeah, I don't think Arum's confident at all. I just think Arum's doing what Arum does and what Arum's been doing for years. All right, anything else? Eddie Hearn, White to wait for Povetkin rematch. So they're saying that rematch will be scheduled now, I think, for the end of January. And so the only fight he would have taken is Fury on December the 5th. Look, I didn't expect him to want to take Derek Chisora's offer. By the way, did you see or hear, or see, the incident between Simon Jordan and Derek Chisora on TalkSport? If you haven't seen it, it's on TalkSport's Twitter page. Just run through it, you'll see it. So Derek Chisora came on to talk about potentially wanting to fight. potentially wanting to fight Dillian Whyte. And all of a sudden, Simon Jordan was asked if he would like to see the fight. And he was like, no, seen it before. It's domestic level fights. I'd like to see Whyte go on to do other things, blah, blah, blah. And obviously Chisora immediately got upset, as Chisora would. And I think Simon Jordan said something like, you're just not world level, right? It's a domestic level fight. I've seen it. It was a good fight, but it's not world level. Chisora asked, what is world level? And Simon Jordan said, the level you've lost to every time you've stepped up, or the level that's beaten you every time you stepped up. You know what it was? Me listening to it, because I was actually in the studio at the time. We're just not used to people going at fighters like that, right? Because we get all our boxing fix from mainly YouTubers, right? And so obviously YouTubers are not going to go at fighters like that, because if you go at fighters like that, obviously you're not going to get the interviews. You might not even get the press accreditations anymore. So we're not used to seeing that. So it was almost refreshing to see someone attack a boxer. At the same time, it was a bit disrespectful, but I guess, to be fair to Simon Jordan, he is correct in what he says, right? It's hard to put Chisora at world level, although he's competed well against so-called world level people, right? Usyk was semi-competitive. Dillian Whyte was very competitive, especially the first one. They were both, I think, British European level, but the second one, I mean, people said Dillian Whyte was above that. And he was very competitive with Dillian Whyte until getting stopped. So, look, it's difficult to disagree with Simon Jordan. Fact is, every time Chisora has stepped up to world level, he's lost every single time. I don't think Carlos Takam was world level, so it's difficult to disagree, but it was a bit weird to witness it, just because, again, we're not used to seeing people go at boxers like that. We're not used to seeing it at all. So it was actually quite refreshing to see. All right, what did I say? Okay, yeah, so I was talking about Dillian Whyte not wanting to take the Chisora rematch or trilogy fight. Fair enough. I'm disappointed, though, that there was no discussion about Michael Hunter or Bryant Jennings. So that's a bit disappointing. So the main event now will be Nigel Benn. So I've just woken up, people. Apologies. Conor Benn versus Formella. That will be the main event now. Good fight. What a chance for Conor Benn, because this is a big opportunity. Because I think he's headlined some of those next-gen cards, sort of the midweek ones. But this Saturday night headline, big opportunity for him. And again, Formella is a decent level fighter. Obviously fought Sean Porter, lost every single round, but it's coming off a loss against Sean Porter. If Ben's able to put a dent in him and stop him, it's a bit of a statement, that one. So let's see what happens. What's this? What we got here? Okay, it's a bit more about Chisora, but we know about already. Anything else? Felix Sturm is out of jail. I don't know if any of you guys knew that he was in jail. He was in jail for tax evasion or tax problems. Crazy, right? Anyway, he's out of jail. He's now, I'm going to say, about 42 maybe, and he wants to fight in December. In fact, to return, he is fighting December 19th in Hamburg. Felix Sturm obviously needs to make the money now. Boxers and chasing money, man. Yeah, so Felix Sturm, the once great Felix Sturm, who really and truly, I don't know if you guys remember this, when it was almost like semi-finals, he went to America to fight Oscar De La Hoya. He beat Oscar, like convincingly beat Oscar De La Hoya, but they gave it to Oscar. One of the worst decisions I've ever seen. Gave it to Oscar so Oscar could fight Bernard Hopkins, but he beat Oscar. But he didn't complain. He was just happy for the opportunity at the time. Yeah. All right, anything else we got here? Herring versus Frampton could move to January to assure US broadcast. Okay, cool. Nothing to really talk about on that one. Adrian Broner released from jail, must comply with court. Whatever. I think that's it. There's other little bits here, but nothing too important. Peace and love.